Hey, good morning. Today, earlier, about, I don't know, half an hour ago, I was going through and reading my Bible and doing my morning devotional time. And what I what I often do, what I try to do, what I try to always do is end my time going through one of WestWay's prayer cards for the week. And this past Sunday, we talked about what it looks like and to remember that worshiping God, worshiping the Lord faithfully comes at a cost. And we talked about that on Sunday. We talked about the way that the cost is financial and with our time and with our efforts. And usually when we think about our efforts, we think about the work that we do in the church. We think about the way that we serve in the church, the way we give our time and do things with that in the church. And this morning, as I was kind of just reading down through the list, that word efforts hit me a little differently today. So I'm gonna read just these three prayers. This is kind of where we are in the month. Ask God to help us be united as a church and with the church. Ask God to help you respond faithfully to his desire for your life. This looks like demonstrating humility, praise, and trusting obedience. And then ask God to help you remember that worshiping the Lord faithfully comes at a cost to you. It comes financially, with your time, and with your efforts. And again, I was thinking about that effort thing in the way that maybe we serve in the church. But today it hit me differently. Worshiping God with my efforts means that I put effort into serving him. Worshiping the Lord with my efforts means that I think about the way, like when I'm tempted in sin, I am to worship the Lord with my efforts and not give into that sin. When I feel that temptation, I am to put work, I am to put effort, I am to put my strength into and against that temptation. This is going to cost me something. This is going to cost me what I want to do. Hopefully this doesn't come as a surprise to you, but as a 53-year-old man, unfortunately, there are times where I still want to sin. There are times where I don't want to be obedient to what God calls me to. There are times where I don't want to do the things that I know I ought to do. And there are times where I don't do the things that I ought. No, I said that already. There are times where I don't do the things that I ought to do, or I don't want to do the things that I ought to do. And there are things where I want to do what I'm not supposed to do as a Christian. I still face that. Still face struggles and temptations. And this morning when I was reading through that and I see that I'm supposed to pay a cost with my efforts, I just don't like that. There are times where when I face temptation, I want to give in to that temptation. There are times where when I see sin, I want to sin. I don't want to fight. I don't want to put up an effort. I just want to go along. I just want to give in because it's easier. But what I need to remember, and I think what you need to remember, what we need to remember, is that faithfully worshiping the Lord comes at a cost. And that cost is my effort. I am to push back against those temptations. That is going to cost me something. It's going to be work for me to be obedient to God. It's going to be work for you to be obedient to God. And again, I don't like that. When I read that, literally my first thought was, I don't like that. Because there are times, even where I am in my walk with God, where I just want to be disobedient. So I got up and I actually went on our back porch for a second and I was just like, man, I don't like that. I don't want to fight always. I don't always want to fight my temptations. I want to give in to them. I don't want to put effort into this. I want God, and I'm just confessing this in my weakness. I want God to wave a Holy Spirit wand over me and make all of the temptation go away and make all of the struggles go away. I want to give him all of the responsibility for my sanctification. I don't want to work at it. I don't want to put effort into it. I don't want to always spend the time to be the person that God calls me to. And reality is that's not what it looks like to worship God faithfully. See, worshiping God faithfully comes at a cost. There's a financial cost to worshiping God faithfully. There's a time cost to worshiping God faithfully. There's an effort cost that comes to worship God faithfully. And I have to put in that effort. I have to put in that work. I was reminded of 1 Peter 5, verses 8 and 9. Here's the work. Here's the effort. Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that your family of believers all over the world is going through the same kind of suffering that you are. This is what it looks like to serve the Lord faithfully with my effort, is to stay alert, is to watch out, is to stand firm against him and be strong in my faith. Worshiping the Lord faithfully requires effort. And as much as I don't like that, worshiping the Lord faithfully requires effort. My hope and my prayer for you today is that as you're going through your day and you're thinking about your own struggles with sin and your own struggles with temptation, that you would put in the effort, that you would call upon God, that you would ask for his strength, but that you would put in the effort to worship him faithfully. Because that's what I want to do today. As much as I don't want to do it, it's what I want to do today. I want to put in the effort to be the kind of person that God has called me to be, that Jesus has saved me to be. Like, that's who I want to be. I want to be a person who puts in the effort. And I want you to be a person who puts in the effort. I love you. I'm praying with you and I'm praying for you. I hope you have a super day. And we'll see you tomorrow.